Hello and welcome to the Swamps. So I said I was only going to do one video this week, but I was actually urged to make a part 2 to my spiritual gifts video. So this is what spiritual gifts do you have part 2. So people can have multiple spiritual gifts. So if you're coming back to this video, this could just be another spiritual gift that you have. And this time I'm going to just explain it at the beginning of the video, which I should have done at the other video. What a spiritual gift is, it's not like psychic abilities, it's more like parts of your personality that are unique to you that are like spiritually important. They play a big role in your life, essentially. So we're going to start off with pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And I'm going to do a little bit of a close-up so you can see the different gems because they are different shapes. So this one's pile 1. This one's pile 2. And this one's pile 3. All right, let's get started. Hello, pile number 1. This is your tarot reading for what spiritual gifts you have. And this, we're going by what the shape represents today. So this shape is representative of the fire element. So maybe that has something to do with your spiritual gift. So we're going to do oracles first. Yeah, we'll do oracles first. And then we'll do your tarot card. So the first thing we're going to pull here is teaching and learning. Okay, that's interesting. So right off the bat, you might be really good at communicating ideas with people. You might be really good at absorbing information and then also passing on the same information to people. That might be what your spiritual gift is. Then we have rebel. Okay, that's interesting. So let's read the light attributes. Challenges authority to affect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. All right, and then we'll do our last card here, the sacral chakra. So the frequency of the sacral chakra, the orange flower of life, supports our ability to flow with our desires and stimulates our creative power to manifest success and abundance in our lives. Okay, I think I get what this is trying to say here. So essentially, you are really good at teaching and learning, but you're like a rebel. So like if you were a teacher, you'd probably teach like your class a lot differently than what is, traditional. This makes me think of a teacher that I had in psychology, and his method of teaching was very unique in the sense that he didn't just have us take notes. He had us draw. He had us do art for the notes. It was really interesting, and actually was a very effective way for taking notes, believe it or not, because it just made you memorize it a lot easier and more efficiently. So that's like an example of what that is. You probably don't exactly do that, but the vibe that I am getting here is mostly that you are a very unique teacher. You don't just teach people by having them take notes, or you don't just tell them how it is. You show them how it is, almost, is what I get out of this. Let's see what your tarot is. Let's see what tarot card you got. Okay, that makes perfect sense. The Sun. So, yes, lots of creative energy here. And I feel like your spiritual gift is essentially that you're very creative. You're a very creative person, and you might be a very, very intellectual as well as creative. And that's why this teaching is coming out, this teaching and learning, because you figure out creative ways to teach people. You don't just, like I said, you don't just have people take notes. You are figuring out creative ways for people to take notes, or if you're a teacher, you have creative assignments to keep your class engaged. If you're not a teacher, then this could just be, you might not even realize that you teach people. I almost get that vibe for most of you. You don't really realize that you are a teacher. You could be teaching by example without even noticing it, because that's how a lot of people are. That's how a lot of spiritual teachers actually are. A lot of spiritual teachers don't even know that they're spiritual teachers, and that could be you. And that might be where this rebel is coming from, is that you are unconventionally, because that's how a lot of when it comes this is tough, because some spiritual teachers do know that they're spiritual teachers, don't get me wrong, but the best ones I find do not. And I feel like that's what this is almost saying. You don't even realize that by being so different and handling life in such a creative way, you are teaching people how to be different, almost weirdly. You're teaching people that it's okay to step out of the norm. You're teaching people that it's okay to look at a situation in a different lens, potentially an opposing lens even. So yeah, with the sun coming out, it's almost like, to me, is like emphasizing this sacral chakra card. And your sacral chakra might be your strongest chakra, or your most balanced chakra. And that could be where your spiritual gifts are coming from. I definitely get very creative vibes from this pile, especially with the sun coming out, because the sun is like, it's just a creative energy in spirituality. That's how it is seen in a lot of belief systems. The sun is actually supposed to be representative of God in some forms of spirituality, and that is like the ultimate form of creator. So that's where I'm getting this creative energy from the sun card. But yeah, you definitely are creative, and whether you're intending to or not, you're teaching people with this creative energy. So let's pull some charms and get some maybe deeper meaning of this reading. Okay, interesting. You may be Irish. There's a clover coming out here. Or you might just be lucky. We've got the crown coming out here. So definitely like leader vibes. There's definitely some leader vibes. You're a very zen person. Yeah, you're very quiet is sort of what I get with this seashell and this lotus coming out. You're very quiet, which is interesting because this makes me think that if you are teaching people, you're teaching by example, which is what I was saying earlier. You might not even realize that you're teaching people. You're probably just setting an example for those around you. And this could be from doing anything between like problem solving a specific problem at work, right? If you're able to calmly do this in a unique way of some kind, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling on my words here. If you're able to calmly problem solve in front of a group of people, and you're doing this in some kind of a unique way, that might be setting an example to the people around you. That like you are able to problem solve in a way that isn't, trying to find an example in my head and I really can't, unfortunately. But it's essentially just like if you're able to problem solve in a unique way in front of a group of people, this will help them understand that there's different ways of looking at whatever this was, is what I'm trying to get at here. And I feel like that's you. I feel like you don't totally realize that you're setting this example or you're teaching people how to think outside of the box, but that's what you're doing. And that's what I really get here. I feel like your spiritual gift is that you can think outside of the box, and just by doing that in everyday life, you're like leading people to also think outside of the box. And that's where I get this rebel from. That's where I think this rebel energy is coming from, is that you think outside of the box, and like by doing that, you're like rebelliously teaching people how to think outside of the box. So that's all I'm really getting for this group. I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you for coming to the Swamps for your tarot reading, and I hope you come again. Hello, group number 2. This is your tarot reading for what spiritual gifts you have. We're going by what these shapes represent in the elements today, and you chose air. This represents air. So possibly that has something to do with your tarot reading today. We're going to do oracles first, and then we'll flip your tarot card and see if where it plays into the rest of the reading. So first we have love. Okay. Next we have mother. So I'll read the light attributes for this one. Nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life. And then we have crown chakra. Interesting. We got chakra for the last group too. The frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light. So right off the bat, I get the energy that you're a very understanding person, and I think that's what your spiritual gift is here. I think you're a really understanding person. You're somebody that your friend group might view you as like the mother, or you might be a mother. You have a lot of love, and when love and the crown chakra comes out, because in my opinion, love is understanding. It doesn't necessarily have to be, love is understanding and acceptance, in my opinion. So when this love card comes out matched with the crown chakra, to me there's like an emphasis on understanding here. Like your spiritual gift is that you're very understanding. And like I think that's why some of your friend group sees you as the mother. I know that that's like a dynamic these days, is that people have the mom friend. And I feel like this is you. You're the mom friend. And that is kind of a spiritual gift if you think about it, especially if you're in like a friend group where I don't know how to put this into words, but like where your friend group might not be very close with their actual family. That's a really important role. So let's see what your tarot has to say. The Lovers. Interesting. So in this context, it makes me think that your spiritual gift is not just understanding in like an emotional way. It makes me feel like you're an understanding person in all of the ways. So like not just emotionally, like don't get me wrong, you're a very emotionally understanding person, but that's just only half of this reading, basically. The other half is that you are somebody who is understanding enough to view it all. So like let me use the friend group as an example. Let's say in your friend group, there's two of your friends are fighting and you're the mom friend, right? So you feel like you have to somehow help and settle this. You're not just going to go into it and be like, okay, this person's right. You have to, apologize. You're going to listen to both of your friends. You're going to weigh out their feelings and try to come to an understanding that everybody likes. Not just, you're not going to play favorites. You're not going to get the easy way out. You're going to actually like look at all the information and decide how to handle this. You're not just going to look at one side and then figure it out with just the one side. You know what I mean? You're somebody that likes to look at all of the information. And that's what I get from this Lovers card. And that's what I get from this crown chakra too. It makes me feel like you are a very understanding person above even just emotional understanding. So like pretty much like I just said, like you're going to weigh out the information. Even if your first instinct is to be motherly, you sort of set that aside. You're still motherly, but in the moment you'll set that aside to try and figure out what's right, which is really important. That's a good spiritual trait to have. Not a lot of people do that. A lot of people are very quick to take a side, and I feel like you're not the type of person to do that. I feel like you're the type of person that wants to figure things out before you make a decision. Yeah, I get definitely extremely understanding vibes here. If I didn't have to hold my camera for this, I'd actually be flipping for more cards right now because I feel like there's more to this. So I'm just going to try and channel for this. Yeah, there's like something about you being nurturing is what makes you want to understand fully. Something about the fact that, maybe you grew up in a household where you were misunderstood constantly. So you feel the need to look at all of your options before making a decision, whatever that may be about. I'm getting this about like opinions. So like if something happens in the news with a celebrity, I feel like you're the type of person to like do your research before like hating that celebrity right away. I feel like that's you. Or you're the type of person that like, I keep hearing the word like forgiveness. Like, I feel like you're a forgiving person. Not to say that you let people like step all over you or anything like that, but I almost feel like you're the type of person that like, if you truly believe that somebody is sorry, you will forgive them. You're not the type of person to necessarily forget though. because I feel like this crown chakra, just something about it like knows better than to just erase the past. Like you still remember the past, but you definitely consider the future, right? You don't just assume that it's going to stay the same, which is, again, like, it's very much you're weighing out all the possibilities. You're not just assuming one side of the coin. I feel like you have a very open mind. That's feels like that's what I was trying to say with a lot of words here. I could have saved us all some time. I feel like you have an open mind, and that is an incredibly important spiritual gift. A lot of people do not have open minds, and it's a very big problem. I could talk about it for a long time, but I won't. So you have an open mind, and this actually makes you a very nurturing person, believe it or not. Actually, I don't even want to say believe it or not. It's just what it is. You're an open-minded person. It makes you very nurturing because of this. You're not someone that's just going to assume things. You're going to weigh out your options. You're going to look at all the facts, okay? You're not somebody who's just going to assume. And that's, that is in itself a spiritual gift, because we got a lot of assumers out there. All right, let's pull some charms. Okay, we've got, you're a very understanding person. So this charm doesn't come out a lot, but it came out for you, the dragon charm. Dragons represent spiritual wisdom. I'm actually going to put it on the crown chakra card. Dragons represent spiritual wisdom. So it makes me feel like you're a very wise person, in the sense that, like I said, you don't just jump to conclusions. You weigh out what information is there. You don't just assume with if you have some information, you're going to look for more information, because you want the whole picture. You don't just want a part of the picture. We have this flower here, which sort of looks like the flowers on this thing. So it makes me feel like it's just talking about the crown chakra a little bit here. Also, I do believe that the crown chakra is represented by a flower, but I'm not positive about that. It's like an intuitive feeling. I feel like this is just related to that. And we got the ladybug here. I hear lucky. I heard it for the last pile too, but I hear lucky. You might be really into nature, because it's like Mother Nature is sort of what I saw with those two there. But back to the ladybug. It could have to do with the fact that ladybugs can fly, and so you have like a higher perspective because of that. You know what? I think this has to do with the fact that some people just don't, there's the superstition with ladybugs where if you kill them, it's bad luck, right? But I feel like you're the type of person that thinks about it. You wouldn't just kill a ladybug. I feel like you're the type of person that maybe not literally, but you think about the butterfly effect, the concept of killing a butterfly here, there's a tsunami across the world or something, I feel like you're the type of person that considers what you do and how it's going to affect everything. I feel like that's probably what Spirit wants me to emphasize on with this, because I was talking about more so in a mother's perspective, but in just a regular person's perspective, I feel like you are very aware of what you do, or you try to be at the very least, which by just trying you are usually a lot more than you might even realize. But it seems like you're somebody who tries to be conscious of what they do in the world, of what energy they put into the world. So that's all I'm really getting for this group. I hope you found this tarot reading helpful. Thank you for coming to the Swamps for your tarot reading, and I hope you come back. Hello, group number 3. I actually almost wanted to call you number 4, and I think that's because of this. So this is a tarot reading on what your spiritual gifts are, part 2. And today we're going by what the shapes of these crystals represent rather than the crystal themselves, mostly because I don't know what crystal these are. And this one represents, I think it's earth. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it's earth. That makes sense, but yeah, earth. Sorry about that. This one represents Earth. So let's get into your reading. We're going to do oracles first, and then we're going to read your tarot card. All right. So first we have environment, and it's green. And I just point that out because your crystal was Earth-shaped. So let's see the next one. Advocate. Okay. Let's read what it says for light attributes. Inspires to put compassion into action. I keep wanting to read this as avocado because the color is like an avocado color. Anyway, let's get to your last card. Heart chakra. Okay, so for every group so far, we got a chakra card, and this whole deck is not just chakra cards, so I just want to point that out. So you got the heart chakra. The frequency of the heart chakra, the green flower of life, supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing properties harmonize the body and the mind and the spirit. Wait, no, that didn't, my brain just did that. I'm sorry, it just says body and mind. And let's get your tarot card flipped now. We got the Empress coming out, and she is also very green. Okay, not everybody's did this, but yours is doing this. It's all green. There's green on the tarot card. There's green on the, you can't really see it. It looks kind of black in the camera, but this is like a really dark green. It's all green. So I feel like your spiritual gift, okay, so I feel like this could go a few ways. Some of you are environmentalists, and I guess that is what Spirit is considering a spiritual gift, in the sense that you are really passionate about the environment, and not everybody is. But another meaning that this could be, and it sort of goes along with that, is that you are somebody who speaks for people who can't speak for themselves, or like animals or the environment. That might be your spiritual gift, is that you stand up for people who can't stand up for themselves. And I'm almost leaning more towards that. I really do feel that way. And it's interesting that I wanted to say group 4 earlier, because we have 44 coming out here in the numerology deck and 4 coming out for the heart chakra. Just wanted to say that, okay? So anyway, there's an emphasis on the number 4 here, so that might be an important number to you, or it might just have something to do with this. 4 is considered like an angel number, in the sense that like 444 is supposed to be like you're protected by angels. That's how it's interpreted for some people. It's different for everybody, but so yeah, that's what really makes me think of this, especially with this Advocate card coming out. Actually, I'm actually pretty certain that I got it right. Your spiritual gift is that you speak up for people who can't speak up for themselves. This could be a number of groups. This could be like animal rights. This could be an environmentalist. This could be, this could be something very like niche. For example, this isn't really something going on right now, but it was something that happened at one point in time. They didn't use anesthetics on babies because they believed that babies didn't feel pain. I'm sure somebody was out there preaching against that. That would be a good example of that. Like, babies can't speak for themselves, so that person was speaking for them. So yeah, you're the type of person that speaks up. And speaking of babies, there's a baby in this picture. You're somebody who's very nurturing, is what I get. You're a very nurturing person, and that's probably why you speak up for the defenseless. This could be anybody. This could be any kind of group of people or animal, or, anything that can't speak up for itself, essentially. I did use a really weird example, but it was the first thing that came to my mind, probably because there's a baby right there. So yeah, this has to do with the fact that you speak up for people who cannot speak up for themselves. That's your spiritual gift. And something's unique about this, because there are people who do this, but some people don't do it right. And what I mean by that is, like, sometimes people will speak up for people who don't want you to speak up for them. But I feel like, because we have the heart chakra coming out here, I feel like you do it out of empathy. I feel like you're somebody who's been unable to speak up about something before in your life. I don't know what it is, but there was something that you were silent about. And because of this, like, maybe you've stopped being silent about it, nowadays, but you know what it's like to be silent about something. So because of this, you speak up for people who feel like they can't speak for themselves. Whatever reason that might be. It might be that you speak up for like mentally disabled people. It could be that you speak up for like animals, like I said. You could be an animal rights activist. You could be an environmentalist. You could be speaking up for just, I don't really know the endless examples here. I don't want to really sit here listing off the endless examples, but essentially your gift is that you can speak up for people who cannot speak up for themselves. So let's pull some charms and see what we get out of that. Yeah. All right. So there is an emphasis on angels here. I don't know if you believe in angels or if that's how you view like spirit guides. You don't have spirit guides, you have angels or something like that. That could be you. There's something to do with the heart chakra here. I think this is saying that you unlocked your heart chakra. You have a really like strong heart chakra energy. And that might be where this is coming from. That might be where this spiritual gift is coming from. Like I said, I feel like there's just an amount of empathy here. That you do this out of empathy. Like you see somebody unable to speak. You know what it's like not being able to speak. So you speak for them. And that sounds bad in some cases, like, you know, you're really not supposed to speak for people. But I feel like you do this in a tasteful, graceful way. I don't feel like this is like, you know, I don't feel like you're like speaking over people. I feel like you're speaking for people who physically can't speak or for people who are unable to, are not ready to. I feel like that's who you are. And for some of you, I think this does have to do with the environment because we have this guy coming out who comes out a lot, by the way. So it might be the same person, might be something to do with you. But yeah, there's definitely, this is a very spiritual thing. I don't know how to explain it with the moon coming out like that. With this moon coming out with angel wings, it does make me feel like there's some kind of angel aspect to this, especially with all those fours. So maybe you would be what is considered an earth angel. If you don't know what that is, I would consider looking that up if I were you. You might just be an advocate for the earth in some kind of way. That's all I'm really getting for this group. So I for this group in particular, I would definitely look up Earth Angel, the number 4, 444, 44, and 4. I'd look those up. And yeah, I would definitely, your spiritual gift is that you speak up for people who can't speak for themselves. So that's all I got for today. Thank you for coming to the Swamps for your tarot reading. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you for coming to the Swamps for your tarot reading. I hope you guys found this helpful, and I hope you keep watching my videos. I know I said I wasn't going to post another one this week, but I really got the urge to post one. It just felt like, to be honest, it almost felt like I needed to do more spiritual gifts, either because some people have multiple spiritual gifts or I didn't cover what spiritual gifts some may have. So I felt urged to do more. So there you have it. Have a nice day.